Hey everyone, Ekman here with another video, and today we have my current build of Jiren in the Fusion World card game. This is the newest red leader for this game, and honestly I didn't like it so much at the beginning of this meta. I had a hard time finding a build for Jiren that I liked, but I've been doing a lot of testing and a lot of gameplay with it, and I'm pretty happy with where this build is right now as well. So a couple of things before we get started. First, if you guys appreciate these videos, please make sure to hit that like and subscribe. I really do appreciate it. And if you want the deck list, you can find it in the description. It's also on my deck list page on my website, Eggman Events. So if you go to the deck builder and you go to the FB03, that brings that up right here. And then also, if you just go to the FB03 format, there's the staff deck list page. You can check that out. And then also, we did do a live stream with this recently where we went 9-1 on the rank ladder. And if you guys want to see the entirety of that run, you can find it in the description. It's on YouTube for free, so you can watch all 10 games that we did. And at the end of this video, too, we're going to go over one of the matches in particular for it against a blue Vegeta, which typically is the hardest matchup for this list, and I would agree, but the changes and the tech choices that we've made have made that, I think, a little bit more attainable as a deck, as a way to play against it. So the biggest thing that I think helps this deck right now is the inclusion of Tournament of Power Arena. This was like okay in in set one. This was like a fun card to play off the one drop Roshi, which is now banned. But since we get to really late games, this card is really fantastic. I sometimes have been running it at 4 copies. It is just our best turn 2 play. I don't think we want to play like Hit or Khalifa or really any self-awakening cards in this build. We want to kind of just grind out to the end game and get a lot of value. Sun Gohan Adolescence is really good at like getting removal, and it is our only self-awakening card, but I kind of like rarely use the effect for it. I just kind of generally just go down to 3 when they hit me with it. We're kind of like this weird spot where early game we use Tournament of Power Arena to get out of 15k attacks on leader for free, and then late game when if we're not awakened yet, we use Tournament of Power Arena offensively to make our leader a 20k on attack without it being having to commit a card. So since we are on the backside a 25k leader, but we don't get the card draw, it's a little bit tricky to be able to get card advantage. Like once we are awakened, we have like this part where we're like a 25k leader and we have like 12 cards in hand, but then our card cycle kind of comes to a screeching halt after that. So generally I do like trying to stay on the unawakened side as much as possible, just so we get that cycle, we get more value. And I think we're a deck that, again, like when we get later into the game, we can get a lot of pressure and value from that too. And in general, it's kind of like Zamasu in blue, where it's kind of tricky to actually do enough damage to be able to get Jiren off the board, especially since every time we take damage, we draw 2 cards, which is really great. And obviously the card in contention for that is this 4-drop Jiren, which is really strong, but a lot of decks have a lot of ways to remove this card. So because of that, it's a little bit trickier for this one to get value against anything that's not yellow and green. Green can, you generally have to respect this as green, and you get a couple procs from it. But against blue in the mirror match, you don't get that as often. If you make its power 0 or less, it does get removed from the board, so you don't get the protection from it, and that's kind of rough for it. But I do think it's sometimes like playing a 4-drop 30k on curve that your opponent has to answer. Yes, it feels bad when blue bounces it back to your hand, but it's still like a good card for pressure-wise, I think, in a lot of ways. So I do like the inclusion of that there. And then kind of like our backup copy of that, we have the 4-drop Son Goku Secret Rare. This card is not needed if you don't have it, but I do like it as like 2 kind of tech cards that are in some matchups better than Jiren. Specifically against blue, you get to use this to be able to pressure down and remove one of their cards on board, and then also get the additional damage. So for example, if they have like a 2-drop Videl out that they've been cycling cards with, you make the Videl a 5k and then you attack 30k with the secret rare to try to remove it, and if you do, you get rid of it and you get the damage, and there's a 30k that your opponent has to kind of respect too, which is kind of nice. So I do like the inclusion of that there. Other than that, we just have like the generic 1-drop support, Roshi, Piccolo, and Whis, all just 1-drops to be able to help us get that value there. Whis turn 1 is intimidating against a lot of decks, and this is particularly good against blue. If they don't have 1-drop Zamasu, they lose out on a lot of their 1-drop cycle advantage, which is really really great. So I do like having this card at 4 copies right now. This 1-drop is fantastic. It's a 20k late game, which is great. Fua has just such good removal potential in a lot of ways too, specifically because we're also playing 3 copies of God Kamehameha. This is such a good card for what this meta looks like right now, because there are so many 30ks that we want to get rid of. It could be the 5-drop Secret Rare Vegito, the 4-drops Goku SS4 from the black, right? The black decks, right? It's just such a good card, and it punishes your opponent for removing your board, right? Sure, it's pretty easy for you to have no cards on board, and if you do have cards on board, it's usually a 4-drop Jiren that you're getting value from. So I like this card at 2 copies. I know a lot of people are talking about having copies of like the God of Destruction 2 cost from the set, but I think this one's just better. Like 25k is super good for being it's super close. It's super close to being good. Yeah, the Spear of Destruction. I want to run this card, but I think that God Kamehameha is just better. So since if we're playing Beerus, we can play this card, but otherwise I don't think it's as good for it. So but it's close. It's close in a lot of scenarios, but not quite there. But generally from there, we just play in the late game. We don't take damage very easy, and then if they're attacking into us, sometimes they don't attack into us. Roomshi is like a really good late game card, but also is like a 10k, so you don't even worry about having this card, but it trades really well into a lot of cards that are on the board. If we have like a Fua in hand, we can get rid of a Broly with Roomshi Fua, which is great. Fua, you can like also play it and then attack with leader and then combo it off and then play God Kamehameha. So you remove the Broly for 3 energy, and you're able to which is just really strong in 2 cards. So I think that helps you get there as well, and that's pretty good. The weakest card in this deck, funny enough, is Kefla. If you don't want to run this card, you don't have to. It's just a 10k. I've rarely have played it. Usually I just have like, if I'm playing a 4 cost, I'd rather play Jiren, or if I need to have like Sun Gohan get some removal, I need to do something where I have to play like Sun Gohan and Fua, or like God Kamehameha or something. So if you don't like Kefla, you can take it out for sure. It's a 10k, so you're never like upset for having it, but it is ironically probably the weakest card in this build too. So this is it. I think this is a straight 50. If you want to make some changes to some ratios, I think that's important, but I really think that Tournament Power Arena has helped me win a lot of games that I would otherwise lose, especially the mirror match. If you're able to put up your Tournament Power Arena and the other Jiren's not, you win the game. Like, you just get so much more value than them. It's insane. And then sometimes this comes up and it just gets removal, and especially if you're playing against blue, like Jiren 4-drop doesn't get immediate value. This one does. You get some removal, you get some pressure, and sometimes you can squeak some wins against decks that you make something a 5k and just go all in on this Goku too. So in general, I like this deck a lot, and let's go to our example game. All right, here's our example game against Inko on the ranked ladder for Fusion World. We're playing the Jiren list, and they're playing Vegeta, which I will continue to say is probably the hardest matchup for us. They get a lot of value, and also their leader being a 35k all the time means it's hard for us to get value from our 25k base leader, and it's pretty tough. But we do have a pretty okay opening hand. Having the arena in our opening hand is generally all we really need. We kind of miss out on a 1-drop, but that's fine. We're charging the 4-drop because it's going to unlikely get a lot of value in a matchup like this one. And they're going to be playing what it looks like the vanilla version of this deck too. So they're going 15k into us. We're going to go down to 7. And we do get the Piccolo, maybe like a turn too late, and then they're going to be playing the Trunks there. So pretty standard stuff for Vegeta. They just try to have a large hand as well as being as many cards in life as possible to kind of facilitate that. So going 15 into there, they're likely going to be comboing with the Trunks, which they do. So 15 to 20, no damage there. And then for 2, we are going to be playing our Tournament of Power Arena. So again, since this deck is really good for going, 6, 7 additional turns, you can kind of think of this card like drawing 6 or 7 cards, right? It's very, very good if you're able to establish it early. And like even here, we're just going to use the effect. We're going to get out of this attack for free. So pretty standard. They're going 15 into 20, so we get out of it for again for free. So already Tournament Power Arena has kind of used its own worth there. And then they're going to be playing the 1-drop Videl. So again, this is the skillless package of this deck. Lets them play a 3-cost or less skillless battle card from their hand. So attacking with the 25k Go Tanks, and we're going to end up having to take that. But we end up getting our 4-drop Goku, which is quite good, especially compared to Jiren in this. We're going to charge our 1-drop, and we're actually going to be playing our Sun Gohan Adolescence. So So we're attacking in. I'm not going to be taking the life here because I don't want to give them that free value. It's going to be 20 into 10. And they actually do take this. If they combo out of it, I would probably try to go 20 with the stage, but we're just going to go 15 into their leader, and looks like they're just going to combo off the Vidal as well, saying that they've got no additional cards. So pretty good for us, though, being able to get out of a 10k like that, since I think they recognize that they're probably going to lose it next turn, and passing it back to them. So they're still at 8 life, but they're going to 3 energy with a marker. They're going to go 15k into our leader, so we're going to be able to use our stage once again to be able to get out of there. So there's 15 into 20. And then for 4, they could be playing something like a Sun Gohan Adolescence, which ends up being the case here. So it does get the removal of our 3-drop, but just a 1-for-1 trade like that isn't too terrible. They're going to be attacking 30 into our 15, and again, we're okay with taking this one. It's big enough where we don't really care about how much we're bleeding from that. So we're going to put the 4-drop Goku there. I was actually really tempted to play it out, but based on how their situation is here, it's moderately unlikely that they're able to remove this Jiren, so I'd rather try to get value with it immediately. But we could have also played the Goku if we want to be a little bit more aggressive with it. But we're going, I don't know, this is not aggressive, but it's a little cheesy with this Jiren. So pretty much says like they have to try to remove this right now. They don't have 5-drop Vegito or 5-drop Vegeta on board yet. So because of that, there's a good chance that this survives. But no, they have the 3-drop Trunks, which I haven't been seeing as much at the beginning of the meta, but I think more and more people are adding this card. So just another free out for this 4-drop Jiren. Pretty upsetting, but we are just going to go out with this Tournament Power Arena and get out of that pretty free. And then they're going to continue to attack us as well. So they're going to go 20 into our 15, which we are going to take. Go down to 4. Oh, another Goku, kind of nice. And then 30 into 15. And going down to 3. So at this point, I've decided, you know what, we've gotten, I think, enough value from being an Awakened leader and our Unawakened. We're going to play our 5-drop Goku. We're going to use this to actually get the minus on their 4-drop there. And then we're going to attack into it with our Jiren. So we'll use the effect to awaken. So we'll go down to, since we're down to 3, we're at 25k base now. But we don't get to, we don't get to draw on attack anymore. So, but they're actually going to use Gallic Gun to tie with it and then get out of it with another card. So a little bit, defensive there, but I think that's fine. And then I'm not really in any rush to kind of push out this game. So we're going to go 35 into 10, get rid of that. And the Trunks is good. It did buy them another turn without me having the 4-drop Jiren out. But since we're 25k base leader and we have a 2-drop stage or field, doesn't really matter. So this is the spoilers first Vegito here. Card is pretty good. We're going to be able to get out of this with just a 10k though, so not too big of a deal. And unlike other leaders, I think we're pretty okay with how defensive we get to be with this. They're attacking with their own leader, attacking 25, which we get out for free, which is nice. And then they can restand their Vegito and go 30 into 25. We'll go 30, and we'll also 5k out, so we're safe there. All right, so that Vegito is a really good card, but we do get to permanently remove it with a couple cards in our deck. So we're end up going to just use the God Kamehameha since our board ends up being clear anyway. So we will be using that to now play some Goku, which is going to be able to get rid of the Trunks for free. And then we're going to go a 35k attack into their leader. So they're going to have to super combo on something else, but I think Vegeta at this point is okay with going down to 5 life. And then normally I am a fan of putting them, awakening Vegeta whenever we can. But in this scenario, when we're in such a good defensive spot, I think it's fine to keep them at 5 for this moment, and we'll get it back. So since they have to keep bouncing back our Gokus, we're actually not too upset about it. So again, we're doing another 10k here. So we go down to 30, or go to 35, which is quite nice. And then they're going to go again, another 30 into our 25, and we're going to use a Roomshi to get out of that one. So we're still fine. I think being a 25k when we are, and also with the field, we're in a good spot. So we have 25 to our 25, so we're going to use the tournament power arena to get out of it. And I think we're fine. So we have another 4-drop Jiren, which we're charging immediately because I'm not going to be too greedy with it. We're going to use the Piccolo for 1, and then also the Roshi for 1. So using these to get value, I think, is good while we still have the time for it. And then for 5, we're just going to go 25 into their leader. And then at this point, too, we're just going to use Roomshi. We're just going to get as much value as we can. We also have to respect that they can play Zeno whenever they want now. So we're going to go 30 and use the 2 5Ks we just played, too. So 40 into there. So there are 20 into us. And they're also kind of at like this weird spot where they their cards in hand they have too many cards in hand, essentially, to be able to use like their leader effect and some other effects at the right time. So we are in a good spot. We have 3 super combos, which is nice. They have a 3rd Vegito, which they're going to be using to get rid of this. They make a small mistake here too, where they activate main the card when it's RA active. So I will take advantage of that for sure. And so it's 35 into 30. They're going to use their leader effects, and now they're 35. And that's pretty good, but we're going to super combo since we have 3 of them. We don't really mind using 1 of them for that. And they've got 2 left. And so they're going to play Vidal. And we're in this kind of weird spot where they're gonna attack and get the boost. So 30k, and this did not show it. I took a long time to decide if I wanted to take that or not, but I felt pretty confident at 2. With how our board is, it's really like if they have Mai and 5-drop Vegito, we lose. But since they're playing like the skillless engine, I don't feel like they have enough room for the 1-drop Mais. So we're going to go, and also we top deck this Gohan. This Gohan's really good for us. So we're just going to go 25 into the Vidal, actually make it a 5. So it's a 25 into 5, which they should be getting out of. Yeah, pretty tough there. And then we're going to attack 25 into their 20. They get a 10k. And then we have a 30 there. And the last thing that I want to mention is we got pretty fortunate that we didn't... they're not able to loop any peel-off value right now. They seem to have not found it quite yet. So I think that's been, a lot of things have gone right for us, right? I'm not going to say that this is a matchup that we win every time, but we got put into a position and our opponent drew a hand in such a way that we get to take advantage of situations like this. So we've seen, 3 Vegitos already, so the 4th one would be a little bit absurd, but we do have the first peel-off here. And I was really thinking about this, but we're going to choose super combo and the field to get out of this. So I think we're fine. They could have at any moment just used Vegeta and Mai, and they'd likely win here because we have a 30k. But they're going to bounce back one of our cards with the Trunks. It looks like it's going to be a Roomshi, which makes sense. 20 into our 20, and I think we're just okay with this leaving. Yeah, it's done its job as well. And then they have peel off for the loot potential. So, and then we kind of get this weird spot where we could definitely win here if we get enough removal here. But yeah, here's all this value that they were missing out on previously. And I don't know if they have Gallic Gun in hand, but they could have made the attack a little bit bigger with peel off and then recycled it all. But we're going to start off with a Whis for 1. We're going to use the effect to minus that one there. Get rid of a 10k, so that's pretty nice. We're going to play the Fua. We're going to use that to get rid of a peel off. And then we're going to play our 5-drop, which will be able to get rid of one of the Trunks. So we removed a lot of their value that they had presented on board now, and it's deciding if we want to go for game or not. So I've decided to, let's try it out. Let's see if they have any super combos or not. We're going to go 40 right here. And they have 40 and 50. So a little bit tricky, a little bit suspicious with those numbers, but we have this Weiss, and so I decided just to go a big 30. Sorry, big 40. I'm like, you know what? I don't think they have the numbers to get there. I know that they have like 110k, and there's a chance that we get there. So I just decided to go for it. We have 55, so 2 super combos gets there, but doesn't seem to be the case, and we were able to read our opponent's hand pretty good. So a really strange match, but I think it kind of just shows it goes to show what this deck's kind of capable of, and that blue is definitely an uphill battle, but not unwinnable in a lot of situations. So that's the match for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys want to see the rest of our games, it's linked in the description. All 10 games I played on this run are on that YouTube VOD, and that's going to be it for me. So thank you guys so much for watching. Do appreciate it, and I'll catch you all next time.